Hey guys, it's Jonathan with this week's mini lesson. And I was thinking this week that, maybe it's getting harder. The stay at home order is continuing, and it has felt like it's been going on for a long time. And so it's difficult. And so it's might get it harder to resist temptation. And so that's what I wanted to focus on this week is just addressing that. How do we stay vigilant? And where can we find some encouragement for that? And I really wanted to just draw that from the Bible. So this week I'm going to focus on Proverbs 23:17-18, which reads, "Don't envy sinners, but always continue to fear the Lord. You will be rewarded for this. Your hope will not be disappointed." And as I read that, I was just thinking, that really does apply nicely to this situation because the first thought it gives us is don't envy sinners. And that is something that may be happening in our minds right now, right? The grass is greener sometimes when we're feeling discouraged. And so our minds might start telling us a different story about our past and a different story about what it, was like when we would engage in a certain activity or when we would give in to a certain temptation. And it might be telling us that, maybe this time that will actually not be have the same result. Maybe this time we will see that we'll be rewarded for making that same choice again. And so our minds might be fooling us into that kind of a thought, or we might be looking at others in our lives who are, possibly living. Making choices that are similar to the choices we used to make, and think they don't seem to have it that bad. But that's that idea of envying sinners, right? That's the idea of letting our minds think that these choices aren't what they really are and aren't going to have the consequences that they will definitely have. So we're reminded not to do that, but instead we're reminded to continue to fear the Lord. And we talk a lot about not being afraid. And so it's like, why do we have to fear the Lord? And the truth is, I don't have anything to fear from God, but certainly my sinful nature does. My pride does. My ego does. I mean, when I'm honest about it, there's a lot of character traits within me that do need to be afraid because those are the things that God wants to wipe out in my life. And so I'm reminded to fear him in the sense that I'm reminded to be aware of his power, of his potential, what he's capable of, and just that indescribable nature of God that's far bigger than my problems. And so that's what I need to tap into right now in order to continue to resist that temptation. Johanna Reardon said, "Fearing God saves us from caving into our sinful nature." And that was just a good reminder for me when I think about, fearing God. It's also really about being conscious of what God's capable of, as well as what God calls me to. Can be the ticket that I need to continue to resist that temptation to return to the behaviors that were part of my sinful nature. And the verse finishes with, "You will be rewarded, your hope will not be disappointed." We just need to remind ourselves that it is worth it, right? Fighting this good fight is worth it, and there will be an end, and we don't know what that looks like yet, but there will be an end, and we will continue to move towards that end by continuing to focus, in the now and be present in the moment while still being excited about the future that's to come. And so I welcome you to join me as we continue to fight this fight and we continue to be resisting our temptations. So thanks, guys. Stay connected with the people in your life, stay grounded with your accountability teams and partners, and stay in the Word, and we'll get through this together. Hope you have a great week.